Piano.
Here goes something. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? It's the Big Geekster, Peso Shot Man Grundy, Quite Low the G Exact, and I'd like to welcome you back to the Culture. This is the Culture Made channel, and I am Culture Made. Now, I've missed saying that. It's like this is an update for my little 9-10 subscribers, however many I have accumulated now, and I really do thank each and every one of you for even giving my channel a try, and hopefully you'll keep coming back, and we'll grow more, and we'll see more. But obviously I took a break from YouTube. I took a break from social media in general. I started my channel about a year ago, and at the time, I had all these, expectations and, things that I thought were just going to happen, and I know nothing happens overnight, but I just thought, with the wave of things that were going on, like, I thought YouTube worked different, and I really didn't understand how it really, the algorithm really works, but like I said, I took a break from all social media, and I didn't feel the drive to do certain things anymore. A lot of things let me down, and basically took away my morale last year. And it started with my superhero movies, the superhero movies that we all, love and endear. But once reality started turning into something that I didn't want to see, I basically pulled a dodo bird and put my head in the sand, and thought it would all go away if I just didn't pay attention. But that's not that's not how the world works. It's not reality. Reality is things are going to continue to happen whether you like it or not. You just got to figure out how to maneuver and how to adapt to whatever's going on around you. When I first came to YouTube as just a viewer, it had to be over like 20 years ago, like literally over like 20 years ago. Maybe 2005, 2006 is when I started viewing YouTube, and I first got on YouTube just to get like cheat codes for video games. There used to be this website called GameFAQs, and I would go to GameFAQs just to get like I said, cheat codes and stuff. And that kind of led me to YouTube, looking up how to complete my favorite game ever made, Final Fantasy VII. That's why I send my intro right up. If anybody's wondering, the group of ragtag heroes that like look at the screen like what is going on, and like kind of in the middle of my intro, that's Final Fantasy VII. Cloud and Barrett and Tifa and all the homies from that universe. I love that story, that the gameplay is amazing. It's my favorite game of all time. It's kind of like playing chess and Pokemon, but with real people, and it's like basically living out a movie. And like I said, the storyline is just amazing. The lore of it is just something else. But anyway, I came to YouTube looking for ways to, be able to finish that game on 100%, just complete it, because I've never done that in my life. I beat Final Fantasy 7. I beat Final Fantasy 8 100%, by myself with no help. You know what I mean? And that's when I finally understood Final Fantasy VIII. I mean, that's when I finally understood Final Fantasy as a game. So I went back to play 7, which was my first Final Fantasy ever. But when I first played Final Fantasy 7, I didn't understand what was going on. Like I said, I looked at it like Pokemon, like, you know, because basically it's a turn-based RPG. So I'm like, yo, I'm basically living Pokemon with an awesome like steampunk storyline, and it was just amazing. But that's how I ran into creators like Maximilian Dude and I can't remember their name now, but at the time they were called Game Trailers, and people like Ben and Brad and there's another guy, I can't remember his name right now, but they were awesome, and they were very helpful in helping me, you know, complete my task, you know, the journey of Final Fantasy 7. And after that, you know, I seen that YouTube is basically a place where you can find whatever you want. Like whatever you want to find, you're gonna find it on here. And I went into many a rabbit holes, many dark nights and good nights sometimes. Just, you know, learning things from the app, and it always made me want to be able to be a part of that community. So when I was able to, you know, accumulate the money to buy the equipment and get things set up to be able to run my own channel, I thought I was ready for it. But the big problem that ended up happening was the world was becoming a storyline I didn't want to live. Like, it just was horrible. Like, the world started sucking. True story. And not my internal world. Like, my internal world was kind of fine. Like, I was okay. But at the same time, things were happening in the media and on social media that was fucking with my mind. Not only that, like, I was 36 and started growing grays and shit. Like, if you can see, you know what I mean? I'm like, what is it? You know, I wasn't used to that. And that was one of the things, like, right now, I really need to shape up or something. And they'll put the little black dye in it so you won't see the grays. So sometimes you won't see the grays. But at the time, like, I didn't know that. I'm getting older and this things were happening, and I'm like, yo, what the you know what I'm saying? Like, I got grays in my beard. But I've come to terms with that. You know, that's what's gonna happen, man. Like, that's what happens, guy. You know what I mean? You bless you still living, you know? So yeah, I got over that part. But one of the things that was really like just ringing and tugging at my soul, this race war that was boiling in America, where I stay and where I'm from, you know what I mean? And I've always been the type of guy that was a patriot, you know, my people, America, you know. I really love this country, but started really seeing, you know, out front, you know, where people were hiding it before, you know, you get a little inkling of it here and there, but, you know, it was never really like abruptly in your face, you know. But last year it really did become obvious. America don't love people like me, you know, or, you know, people that I love, you know. So it really started to bother me, you know, in my mind. And I've always been the type of person, I'll put social media down. Like, I don't need it. Like, right up. Like, I'm a 90s baby, but I was born in the 80s. So, you know, I learned how to, like, I was born in 88. So I learned how to really live without social media. There was no social media at one point. And so it's just as easy as it was for me to be able to jump out of a situation that I didn't want to be in. That's how I looked at social media. and I would put it down quick, fast, and in a hurry, just to get back to reality. But like I said before, instead of really getting away from the problem, I was just trying to ignore the problem, and that don't help. What you really got to do is face the problem head on, and clash how it go. And I was ready to crash out, basically, over things that I was seeing that I just couldn't believe. Like, one of the main things, a woman getting rich just for being a bigot to a child. Not only a child, a black child. And not only a black child, an autistic black child. And I didn't understand. Like, I've never seen something like that in my lifetime, for real. Like I said, it was always kind of under the surface, but I never seen it come to a boil and really overflow or break the pot, So I didn't know what to do, I myself have 2 children, one of which is an autistic child, and I would give my life and others' life for her. So seeing that now in public, in broad day, like, people were brave enough to just disrespect children, bro, for no reason, just because something wrong inside of you. I didn't feel like things were safe for my baby, and it really made me like shun a lot of things. But at the same time, I ended up finding a corner of the YouTube streets, or this YouTube space, where people were genuine. People were into the same things I were into, and they were fighting a good fight in their own way. The Recast T'Challa space. You know what I'm saying? Salute to my peoples in the Recast T'Challa space. You know exactly who you are, and I got mad love for you, and y'all really did help me get through some hard times that I didn't realize would affect me as much as it did. Because even though the woman didn't call my child that, it's still the fact that she can be rewarded for that type of activity. I just couldn't. I couldn't deal. Like, it got to the point where I was ready to dust off some of my old skills and really crash out. But I wouldn't be here for my family if I did that. So I had to sit myself down and reevaluate some things. Well, now I think I'm ready. Matter of fact, I know I'm ready to come back. So here we are. Like I said before, thank you for everybody who has even just come to view me. Just come to look at one of my videos. I think right now my most viewed video was my Superman reaction, and I got a copyright for that. I got a copyright strike for that, and I ain't know what no damn copyright strike was. I don't know. You know what I mean? No one has really showed me how to do this. I just seen the equipment from one of my favorite YouTubers, Maximilian Dude. You know what I'm saying? The big dude. You know what I'm saying? I seen how to set up the equipment from him. You know what I mean? And I just, put it together myself and learn how to edit and just hit the ground running, man. But I ran into a wall. And like I said, getting copyright strikes and not understanding, like, wow, why me? You know what I mean? These channels over here, they're doing fine with it, and why would you, take it from a small creator? But whatever. I just learned, some things you just can't do. And I got over it. I still, I'm glad that people viewed the video, but I really wish that it would go further. You know what I mean? And I didn't know how to work the algorithm or none of this. Like, I still kind of don't. I just know that now it's more like my career in hip hop, like, or my career in rap. Like, you have to garner your audience first before you just, start thinking you're gonna blow up. Because I've never really been a part of anyone's audience before other than Max and, what I'm saying, like game trailers. But they're not even game trailers anymore. They turn into somebody else. I forgot the name. Because I don't watch them anymore. There's YouTuber Grace Randolph. I watch her. And I've been in her, comment section, and I've became a member of her channel before, and, been in her chats and stuff before. But I've never really, like, been attached to, like, an audience, of people on YouTube until I met the Recast T'Challa space. A good brother named Chillmonger, awesome guy, you know what I mean? He has my respect forever, you know what I mean? Unless he do some old weirdo shit, but I don't see him doing no shit like that. I feel Chill's really, stand-up man, and I rocks with him. So he ended up putting me on the stage with people I never thought I would be even interacting with. We had a Recast T'Challa panel, and I got to talk to the comic lord Paul, bro. Like, you don't understand, like, I geek out over stuff like this, you know what I mean? Like, wow, like, I was actually on a panel with Paul. I was actually on a panel with Comic Lord. It was awesome. It was awesome. And like I said, finding the Recast T'Challa space made me realize, like, yo, it is possible. Just learn what you're doing and then do it. Like I had to do with editing or whatever. But anyway, just so this won't be too long, I won't start rambling or anything. I am finna start ramping videos back up. I am finna start making things happen. I am gonna have a couple collaborations with other channels. And like I said, thank you to everybody who's even thought of clicking on one of my videos. And especially Natrix Nate. Natrix Nate, you're awesome, brother. I swear you are. He was one of the first people to even give me encouragement on YouTube and give me a little advice of where I should go with my videos, and I really thank him for that. And he has a great channel. Go check that out, Natrix Nate. And don't let spell correct try to correct you. It's Natrix, not Matrix. AI, I think, is smarter than you, but how can it be when we program it? Anyway, yeah, channel update, man. Things are gonna be great for 2026, and I'm gonna make sure of that. And I hope you guys keep riding with me and let me be your avatar to the culture. This is the Culture Made channel, and I am Culture Made, signing out.
10 toes, I always stand so tall. Main mission on a young nigga, mine is we gon' ball. Ambition filled